Hey playa, welcome to another live stream here on my channel. For those of you that are new, my name is Josh, and every single Monday through Friday, I make videos sharing tips, ideas, and stories teaching you how to be your best self. Now, on this live stream, I'm going to talk about all about how I've dealt with losing best friends over the years. As you get older, you're not always going to have the same friend group that you once did. So, the people that you were friends with in middle school, the people that you were friends with in high school, and in college may be different. You might attract different groups of people. And a big reason for that is because you yourself are growing and changing. So, learning how to let go of people, learning how to deal with losing someone is an important skill to have. Now, all week long, we've been talking about dealing with losing someone, how to deal with the loss of a loved one, how to deal with letting your friends go, how to deal with a bunch of different things, all circling around the idea of losing someone. So, if you want, check out the playlist. I'm going to link it up right over here. Hit the thumbs up button if you haven't already. And I do want to say hi to a few people I see already in the chat, leaving comments. If this is your first live stream, or if you're a veteran and you've been to a bunch of them, come on, say hi in the chat. Let's get interactive, guys. Let's see who's here, and let's see who our small group is today. So, okay, let's check it out. Hey, Movie Raider says, "Hey, Josh, Storm Spurs on. Have you guys ever lost a best friend?" It's an important question. Sarah Kinnett says she requested it. So yes, Sarah, thank you for requesting this topic. I think it's important. I do want to share some of my experiences and my stories. Michael Pro says, "Hi, everyone. Gamerski Syndicate. How you guys doing? Good to see you again, man." Philip Jeffries, Austin is here. B Gold. Arby is here. Kingfire. CJ. Thomas Turner, a lot of regulars. I'm always so happy to see you guys in the chat, being interactive, being here. It's really cool that we get to send these Thursday, events together. So I do want to ask a question before we start, because I am a little bit curious to know what your guys' experiences are. Now we're in the summer break. This is summertime for most of you. I know on the Southern Hemisphere it's the opposite, but for most of you guys, this is summer break. And I know that a lot of you may be going to going to a new grade, but some of you may be going to a new school. Some of you may be going to high school or college and totally just separating, going somewhere different from all of your friends. So I'm curious to know, I want to hear from you guys in the chat here. Are you going to be going to the same school or into the same grade as your best friend? I want to hear what you guys have to say. I want to know how many of you guys are sticking with your best friends and how many of you guys are going separate ways, not even by choice. So let's see. Stay Fashy says, "In my experience, true friends are nothing but a myth." So it's interesting to think. It depends on what you consider a friend, right? So I would consider a friend to be someone that you can open up to, you can share things with, you care about their well-being, you want to see them succeed, they want to see you succeed. You guys are there for each other overall. To me, that's what a true friend is. No one is 100% selfless, meaning no one can give their all and their attention and everything they have to you, but we can get small pieces of people's energy and time. And I think that's the most we can ever ask for, because it's the same thing of what you can offer to them, right? You can't offer your full energy and time and everything. All you can offer is a small piece of your day, a small piece of your mind, a small piece of your effort to help others. So let's see what you guys have to say here. Foxy for Life says, "Hey, my friend said you'll never lose us." So yeah, so I mean, some friends are all about sticking together, and that's an important thing too. Having a strong core friend group is really powerful for your development, because as you encounter new things in life, as you meet new people, as you run through new challenges, having people you can fall back on, you can rely on, that know you, that know who you are deep down inside is a wonderful thing to have. So Fatima says, "I have school in 4 days. I'm so nervous to see my friends. I might not have the same classes with them, and all my friends are in other classes, but I'm afraid I don't have any classes with them." Yeah, Fatima, that was a huge fear of mine growing up. There was this idea that your friends are weird and be around people I don't know. And what ended up happening, this happened a lot in high school, right? Because in high school, it's a little bit different from middle school. In high school, it's like you're picking different classes. So each class has a different group of people. So there's a chance you might not be in classes with any of your friends, which happened to me a few times. And my solution, my workaround to that was I created what I considered classroom friends. Now, here's the thing about friendships. Not every friendship is going to be solid BFF level, best friends, we're there for each other, ride or die. Not every friendship is going to be that. Some friendships are simply built on having a shared experience together. And that's okay. That doesn't mean it's any less of a friendship than anything else. A shared experience might just be, hey, we're both in this class together. Let's be friendly. Let's help each other with homework. Let's contact each other if one of us is absent. So Fatima, if you run into a situation like that where none of your friends are in your classes, be open to the idea of making friends with the people that are in those other classes that you're alone in, right? That's an easy way to kind of kind of ease the tension and make it easier for you. Now you might be thinking, well, I don't know any of these people, how do I make friends with them? I think a simple way is this: as soon as you go back to school, and this goes out to everyone too, as soon as you go back to school, and let's say you're starting in your very first class, the best thing for you to do is to turn to the person to your left, turn to the person to your right, and ask them, hey, how'd your summer go? My name is so and so, what's your name? If you don't know them. Now if you know them, then just ask them how their summer was. You don't have to introduce yourself, but ask them how their summer went. Ask them if they did anything fun. Just be friendly right from the beginning. Because if you're friendly right from the beginning, on day 2, you guys are going to say hi to each other. On day 3, again, hi. Maybe by the 10th day of seeing each other, you guys will ask each other to hang out, or you'll exchange numbers or follow each other on Instagram or something like that. So you want to start building these friendships, these kind of classroom friendships with people as you start. Now, for me, looking back on it, looking back on what my experience was like, I look at my high school friends, right? So let me take a step back here. I'm curious to know how many of you guys are in middle school. For those of you in middle school, leave a thumbs up in the chat just so I can get an idea of who's in middle school, because I want to share a quick middle school story with you. Now, I remember being in middle school and I had a huge group of friends there, and we all loved wrestling and things like that. And we would just talk about it every single day. And there were days where my friends were all busy, and let's say they weren't around for lunch. So I would sit at lunch by myself. And it was the most awkward and weird experience ever, because it's like I was so used to seeing my friends during lunch, that being our normal thing, that when people weren't there, I didn't know what to do. I didn't know how to handle those situations. And I remember thinking to myself back when I was in middle school, is this what my situation is going to be like? Like, these are my friends. What am I going to do when I don't have them? When I go off to high school and I don't have this core group of people anymore? And what ended up happening was, what ended up happening to me was that as soon as I graduated, I kind of went on my own path. I really stopped talking to my middle school friends. And I think a big reason for that is because we were in this new environment, we were in a new setting, and we had so many more things to focus on rather than what we did before. So I think that my middle school friends were great, and we were great friends to each other, but we were really friends for the time being, for that era of our lives, middle school. And moving into high school, it's the same kind of thing. Now, I see a few people asking, what is middle school? What is primary school? What is secondary school? So I'll break it down for anyone who doesn't. The American system is its own weird thing. So elementary school is grades kindergarten, essentially, or preschool, or first grade, whatever, to 5th grade. Now, 5th grade, you might be, I think, around 10 years old. So from 5 or 6 years old to 10 years old is primary school, which is elementary school. Moving into middle school, which some people also call junior high school, that's grades 6th to 8th grade, generally. So that's about the ages of 10 or 11 to about 13 or 14. That's kind of the breakdown there. Now, high school is about 14 to 17 or 18, or around those ages. Now, it really all depends on what school. Different schools have different, settings for that, but that's generally the settings. So if you're a high school student, you are pretty much under the age of 18, or going to be 18 soon, but you're over the age of 13. You're in that kind of bracket where you're discovering yourself and you're learning who you are. Now, when I was in high school, I ran into a similar situation like that, where it's like I didn't really know anyone. It was kind of weird in the beginning, but what ended up happening was that my brother, who was a year older than me, went to the school too, and he ended up finding a group of friends, becoming friends with them, and I guess by association, I kind of adopted his friends, and I became friends with them too. So I had developed my own kind of core group in high school, which was cool. Now we hung out every single day, it was a real a bonding experience that we shared. I didn't really have a lot of classes with them, which was odd, but our hangout time generally was during a day whenever we had a break, and then after school. Like during my classes, I didn't really have a lot of the classes with people, which looking back is really weird. So for those of you guys that are worried about not having any of your friends in classes, that's okay. Because I don't remember them being in a lot of my classes. I don't remember them being in any of my classes, my friends. Oof, this is a realization. I didn't really think about that. But yeah, so that was kind of my situation. I had time with my friends after class, after school, and then like during school, because we'd have like our lunch break type of thing. So that's when I generally saw my friends. So if you're afraid that you're going to be in school and you're not going to run into your friends and you're not going to have any classes with them, I understand it's going to be weird. It's going to feel weird, but ultimately, I think that you'll be able to survive. You'll be able to make it through. Now, I do want to talk and talk about a little bit about my high school friends. So me and my high school friends, I think that the reason why we bonded so much is because we were all kind of in that same stage of life where we were, we were all kind of just navigating through working towards what we wanted to do, college, and really just living in the moment. I think when you're in high school, and if you're a high school student right now, but post a thumbs up emoji. I want to know how many of you guys are in high school right now. That's ninth, 10th, 11th, or 12th grades, for anyone that's not inside the US. But I do want to jump in the chat and check out what you guys have to say. But I do want to finish this point here that when I was in high school, it's like my focus really was on like just hanging out and having fun. That's what I did every single day. It's like I'd go to school, okay, do what I have to do. Then afterwards, it was just hanging out with my high school friends. So we kind of lived in the moment. We did a lot there that we really just enjoyed that experience together. There wasn't a lot of thinking beyond that. When it came time for us to really think about college, I don't think any of us went to the same college. We all went to different colleges. And I think that, so I'm seeing a lot of thumbs up for high school here. CJ, Thomas, not Thomas Turner, Doanugi, Canal de Jesus, RB, Unknown, the Atlanta Boys, Storm, the Spires on, Michael Pro. Yeah, so high school, I think, is where it's at. I think a lot of people here are in high school. Footballer says, even though I just graduated. Yeah, so I'm curious to know college too. I'll get to the college part, but I'm kind of working through the levels here. But it's really hot in this room, by the way. So saying that, in terms of us kind of moving forward into college and thinking about college, we were all going to different colleges. So there wasn't ever this idea of like, how are we all going to stay in touch? How we're going to make this work? Now, what ended up happening was that as the years progressed and I kind of moved into college, once again, when you move to a new school or a new environment, you're in a different mindset. You're kind of changing your perspective on life. You're focused on different things. So when I was in college, I didn't really think back to my high school days or think back to my high school friends. I really was looking forward to, okay, this is college. What can I do in this new environment? So Thomas Turner asked a good question. Are you still in touch with your high school friends? So a lot of my high school friends, I'm friends with on Facebook or follow them on Instagram, but none of them I really talk to and hang out with as much. Now I have a core group of friends that I grew up with from my neighborhood, and we connected outside of any school environment. So we've always been able to maintain our friendships simply because it was never really tied to school. So it's like even if I was in high school, even if I was in college, when I came back to my neighborhood, they were always my neighborhood friends. So that was always they're the ones I've always stayed in touch with. But in terms of my like high school friends, the people that I saw every single day and hung out at their houses and we just did everything together, not really as much. And that's okay. A lot of times we're afraid that as we get older, we're going to lose these close friendships to us. We're going to lose people we consider to be our best friends. But it doesn't always necessarily mean that you guys are living on bad terms or you guys don't like each other anymore or there's anger or tension there. It could just be that you guys are growing up and you guys are growing on in different directions. That's kind of the experience I had. That's what I learned through the high school process, that me and a lot of my high school friends were growing in our own directions, discovering ourselves. So, looking back at it, it's like I would have never anticipated that where I am today. I would have never, if you would have asked me when I was in high school, like, are these people you're not really going to talk to as much? I would have told you absolutely not. I'm going to talk to them every single day. We're like super close, and that's where we are. But you have to understand, it's like entering new stages of your life, going off to college, graduating college, going off and getting a job or doing whatever you want to do. You're entering new realms where new people exist, and having more interactions with those new people allow you to kind of move away from the old ones. So, I do want to tell you guys a high school story, and this one involves my high school crush that completely friend zoned me, and whether or not I still talk to her. How did that go? I talked earlier in the week about letting go of someone who friend zoned you and how hard that is, and why you have to kind of like let go of this person that you really care about. And a lot of people ask me, okay, but how long do I have to wait before or friend zone with them? So I want to tell you guys a little story about how I was friend zoned by this girl in high school. And I graduated high school in 2005. So that was 13 years ago, right? After 13 years, I want to tell you guys where I stand with this girl who friend zoned me. Are we friends? Are we not friends? Do I still ignore her? Does she hate me? Do I hate her? Is there anger there? I want to tell you guys what happened. But first, I want to come in and read some of the chat here. So if you haven't already, hit the thumbs up on this. If you're enjoying the live stream, or if you have questions you want me to ask, type it in the chat there below. Let's see what some of you guys are saying. Let me scroll up a little bit here. Let's see. So Gamerski, I did get your email. I'll email you back. We're going to talk about how to do the captions thing. Thank you again for offering to do it. I'll tell you which videos and I'll link you to them. I got to figure out how to do that whole thing, but we'll definitely be in touch. Let's see. Storm says only a couple of my friends are going to be with me in 8th grade. Yep. So um, I know that also is another thing that might happen too, that some of your friends might travel along with you while the other ones kind of don't, and you might feel like you're going to lose those people or they're going to kind of fall out from your group. But realistically, you can maintain your friendship, especially if you guys are still in the same school together. And it doesn't have to be a case where it's like, well, these are the kids that are in my class, therefore they're my better friends. You can still maintain an equal level of friendship with everyone. Let's see. Fatima says, a lot of drama happened between me and my friends over the summer. I'm super nervous to see them again. So that's a different kind of case, Fatima. If there was drama that happened, if there was drama that happened over the summer, the best thing to do is to try to squash it before school begins. So you might want to send everyone an individual message and say, hey, listen, I know so-and-so this happened, but I'm hoping when we go back to school, everything will be cool. Now, I don't know the degree or level of drama that you've kind of encountered, but that would be a general idea of what I would say. So Thomas Turner says, are your college friends your main friends now? So that's interesting. I want to tell you all about my college friends because I have a very interesting system with them. My college friends aren't really my main group of friends now in the sense that I hang out with them all the time, because a lot of us have kind of moved on. We have jobs and we're always busy and stuff. But we do have our own weird and interesting way of maintaining our friendship. So let's see. DDR Shane says summer break for me in the UK. Yeah, it's summer break now. Shane, when do you go back to school? I'm curious when people in the UK go back to school. For a lot of people here in America, it's usually the day after Labor Day. So that's like September 5th or something like that. But I know in different areas, different things. So Andon Wallace says, my first best friend moved 3 years later in middle school. I met my second best friend moved. Then my second best friend moved, and I have not found a new one yet. Yeah, I hear you on that, man. Like people move. It happens sometimes. I did the video yesterday about you being the one that's moving away from your friends, but sometimes your friends move away, and it's hard to say goodbye, but it happens, right? Now, I'm curious, Andon, do you keep in contact with them? Do you communicate with them? Do you guys talk online or anything like that? Do you maintain some sort of friendship? Or is it kind of like, hey, you moved away, we're kind of going to move on with our lives? Ben Taylor says, I believe that you stay friends until you realize that you two are just not having a positive relationship, and to accept that and thank each other for the good times. Yeah, I agree with that, Ben. I think you're onto something there. It's like some friendships are good for the time being and what you want to get out of them, what you hope to get out of them, right? So you might have a friendship with someone that's focused on, let's get through this experience together. A good example of that might be someone that you meet over summer camp or summer school, right? You meet this person, you connect with them, you guys share this summer experience, and then when school rolls along, you're going back to your normal life. So it's like, where do I stand with them? Are we close friends? Do I keep in contact? It's always a tricky line, but I think if someone matters to you, if you care about someone, then just make the effort to get their contact information. Just make the effort to reach out to them and talk to them whenever you can. Let's see. Jessica Lee says, my friend and I both are going to college, and her campus is 3.5 hours away. I will make 10 years of friendship, you guys will make 10 years of friendship next month. I know I shouldn't worry, but I have a feeling we might drift. Yeah, Jessica, I totally get where you're coming from on that. 10 years is a long time to be friends with someone. So kudos to you guys. But that is challenging. That is real challenging. Here's the thing, when people go to college, especially, college is such a I don't even know how to explain it. It's kind of like such an inclusive environment, right? Like you get so your mindset gets so focused on what's happening, especially if you live on a campus, like you live in this little silo, and it feels like these are the people that are around me. This is my environment. So it's like when you have people on the outside, it's like you feel like they're in kind of like an outside world. And that's how I kind of felt too. Like my close friends now didn't go to my college. And when I was at college, I felt like there was two worlds. There was my college world and there was like my home world. And I would jump back and forth whenever I went to either of them, but they never seemed to align. So you might run into that kind of situation, Jessica, where it might feel like this friend is like your home friend and you guys, have that experience when you guys are around each other in your home area. But when you're off at college, you might feel separated. You might feel like you have two different lives going on. Let's see. Gio Flynn says, what if your friends turn to drugs and you're not about that lifestyle? That's a really good question, Gio. I think if you have friends that are a bad influence, that are doing things like drugs, smoking, drinking, all that kind of stuff, and that's not the life you're about, which I'm hoping a lot of you guys aren't about that life. A lot of you guys are like, hey, drugs is not going to help me progress, man. It's only going to bring me down. So if you have friends that are kind of heading on that path, the best thing to do is to kind of pull yourself away from them. And you don't have to be rude or mean about it. You don't have to say, no, you guys are druggies. I don't want anything to do with you. There's no purpose in being rude. I think they'll just start pulling yourself away in the sense of not hanging out as much, talking to them a little bit less, kind of just giving them their own space, and really focusing on developing your own core group of friends outside of them, doing your own thing that doesn't rely on them, in the sense that, like, if one of your friends is like the main plan maker, try to become the plan maker and try to change the direction of your own life and what you do for fun and how you hang out and everything like that. But it's tough when you see friends heading down a bad path, because you're like, hey, do I follow them? Do I stay friends with them? What do I do? Let's see. I'm going to answer a few more questions. Then I want to tell you guys about where I stand with my friend zone crush. I see. Oh, Kevin sent $1 in super chat. Thank you so much, Kevin. I really appreciate that. There's no comment there, but Kevin, if you have a question or a comment, since you donated super chat, I will jump in immediately and answer that. And that goes for anyone that donates on super chat. If you send a super chat over, you kind of bump to the top of the list. I'll answer your question. I'll stop my story. I'll stop whatever I'm answering and just get to you, because I appreciate the super chats, guys. Thank you again, Kevin. Let's see. I'm going to pick a few more random questions. I'm sorry if I'm skipping them. So if I do, just kind of jump back in and ask it again, guys. So here, Foxy for Life says, I moved away from my best friend, but he ended up moving to my school. I'm so lucky. So that's awesome, Foxy. Yeah. If you moved away from them and they ended up going to your school, then boom, that's the perfect alignment right there. That's kind of, the hopeful situation that, like, the people that the people you're comfortable with will kind of stay in your life. Not everyone has that ability, but when you run into situations like that, that's awesome. So Kev's gaming channel says, I need help because I want to make more friends, but I have no friends. I have like 2 friends. So Kev's gaming channel, if you want to make more friends, I think when you go back to school, that is the perfect opportunity and the perfect time to do so. Here's how I would suggest going about it. So number 1, on your first day of school, turn to the kids that are in your class and introduce yourself. Say hi. Ask them how their summer went. Share a little bit about yourself. Say, oh, I spent the summer doing this. Have you ever done that before? Oh, this movie came out. Did you watch Avengers? Did you watch this? Did you watch that? Just share things with them and then see what they like and what their interests are. So that'll help you kind of get used to the people that are in your class. Number 2, think about lunchtime or after school or how you're getting to school. Maybe you're taking the bus to school. These are all different opportunities to make new friends and interact with people. Now, you don't want to be overboard and kind of annoy people and stuff. But you want to casually just start conversations with people when you're in more of a relaxed state. So a relaxed state might be something like, I'm sitting in class, they're sitting in class, I'm going to turn to them and talk. Or I'm sitting on a bus, they're sitting, let me turn to them and talk. It's very different from like, oh, that person over there, I'm going to go talk to them, Try to interact with the people that you're kind of casual around. You're just both casually doing your own thing. I think it'll be easier. Let's see. Soda Pop says, you're watching the Josh Speaks. I got to bring the intro back. Definitely got to bring it back. So let's see. All right, one more question. I'm going to tell you guys what happened between me and my friend zone crush. If you haven't already hit the thumbs up button, hit it up. We're at 30 likes. Let's see if we can get this to 50 likes by the end of the hour. By 6 p.m., it's 5:24 right now. By 6 p.m., let's see if we can get this to 50 likes. So Soda Pop says, I do have some friends in high school, but it doesn't feel the same as it did when we were all younger. I feel like high school, you tend to talk less or kind of fade away from each other. Yeah, interesting. Your friendships and the way that you develop friendships definitely change as you get older, right? So when you're young, you connect over a lot more things, a lot more random things. You don't need a lot to kind of just really jump in and start a friendship with someone when you're in, let's say, middle school. It's like, hi, let's be friends. Boom. When you're in high school, you've already shaped your personality a little bit. You're a little bit more carved up, like, it's like you have the things that you like doing, you have the video games you like playing, the movies you like watching, the music you listen to, you're you're a very talkative person, you're a very shy person, you're very outgoing, you're very laid back. You've already defined a bit of these characteristics. So finding someone that you could be friends with becomes a little bit more challenging because now you're trying to find someone that matches with your molded self. Whereas when you're in middle school, it's like, hey, we're always we're always friends. It's easy to jump in. So to your point, it feels a little harder to make friends because you guys are kind of fading away. I totally get where you're coming from. I think when you move into college, that sense of self is going to be shaped even more. When you get out of college, even more. So it becomes harder and harder as you get older to make friends because as you get older, you're looking for someone that matches your personality a lot better. When you're younger, that's not the case. But that doesn't mean that you can't develop friends, especially in high school, because for me, a lot of my friends really connected on just hanging out and enjoying each other's company in the moment. There wasn't so much depth and substance there other than it was we just enjoy hanging out with each other. So let's see. All right. So I do want to say this. I do want to tell you guys what happened to my crush who friends on me. So I'm sure you guys know the story. If you haven't already, I'm going to link up the video over here so you guys can check it, or over here rather, so you guys can check it out. But basically, this is the story all about how my life got flipped. No, I'm not going there. This is the story all about how I liked this girl in high school. I was like head over heels for her. She ended up friend zoning me, and I decided to stay her friend because I was like, oh, but I don't want to lose her from my life, And that was the challenge I ran into. I told myself I'd rather be miserable and be her friend so I can keep talking to her rather than ripping the band-aid off, cutting her off, and letting her go. Now, it took me a while to realize that in high school, but eventually I did that. Eventually, I kind of moved on from her and did my own thing. Now, as time went on, as the years passed, we didn't really talk to each other at all, right? Like, this was a girl I was head over heels for, and we didn't talk to each other at all. And as time went on, as I went into college, as I graduated from college, as I got older, my feelings towards her definitely changed. They changed in a way where it's like I was less romantically head over heels attracted to her, and it became more of like, oh, she's a cool person. I see her posting stuff on Facebook or Instagram or anything. She's a cool person. I'm happy she's enjoying her life. So where do I stand now with that friend zone crush? I would say now that we're decently friends. We talk every so often. If she wants to do something related to like motivational stuff or anything like that, she comes to me and asks me questions. We talk about that. So for a lot of you guys that feel like you're in the friend zone now and feel like you're never, ever going to get over your feelings for your crush, you feel like you love them with all your heart and that's how it's going to be forever. Trust me, as you move forward, as you learn to let them go, you'll move on and you'll develop new crushes. You'll meet new people. Like, the feelings you have now are definitely going to change in a year's time, in 2 years' time, in 5 years' time. So don't feel like you need to hold on to everyone that you like right now, or else, like you're going to be miserable. It's okay to realize that you can't be with everyone that you like. That's an okay realization to come to. And that's kind of what I did. So when I talk about losing my best friends, I think at that point in high school, when I decided to stop talking to her, I felt like I was losing one of my best friends. I felt like I was letting go of a person that I really wanted to be with, but I was settling for a friendship. But as the years went on, I became okay with losing that best friend. I became okay with letting go of that crush because it really allowed me to focus on new people, to focus on myself, to focus on my own growth. I wasn't held back constantly thinking about this person over and over. I allowed myself to say, hey, it's okay to let them go. So that was kind of the situation I ran into. And now I want to know from you guys here. I'm curious to get your opinions. How many of you guys like someone right now, and you're finding it incredibly difficult to let them go? Maybe you're best friends with them. Maybe you're close friends with them. Maybe you guys are. Maybe she calls you bro and things like that, or dude and stuff like that. How many of you guys really like someone and are close to someone, and you don't want to let them go simply because you don't want to lose that friend from your life? If you're in that situation, because I was in that situation, if you're in that situation, guys, I'm telling you now, I'm ghost of the future here. You're going to move on. You're going to move forward. It's going to be okay. It's okay to let them go. You don't have to try to hold on to every friendship. If it's hurting you, if it's making you feel bad, if you don't only want to be friends, you don't have to hold on to that. So let's jump in and see what some of you guys are saying. Robert saying, thank you, Josh. You're the best YouTuber ever. Thank you, Robert. I appreciate that. It means a lot to me, man. Ben Taylor says, I don't know how relevant this is, but I want to do something bigger with my life. But my best friends don't seem so ambitious. Do I cut them off or just hang out with them occasionally? So, Ben, that's an interesting point because that was something I definitely wanted to talk to too, that I've had friends in my life that weren't always on the same wavelength as me. And I think even now aren't on the same wavelength as me. And that's not to say that I'm better than them or they're better than me. That's not to say that. But it's simply to say this, that, you develop friendships with people over commonalities, over we both like the same movies. We both play the same sport. We both, I don't know, just like to goof off and share memes and things like that. You find commonalities with people. As you get older and you start to really define who you are and who you want to be, you may start to see that your values don't align with your friends' values anymore. And Ben, I think that might be something you're running into, where you want to do something bigger in life, but your friends don't have those aspirations. And it can be tricky because you might tell yourself, but these are my friends. These are the people I grew up with, the people I care about, the people I've always wanted to be around. But it's an important thing to do. An important thing to do is to ask yourself, are these people helping push me forward, or are they keeping me where I am? Now, you will have some friends that are bad, like someone had mentioned earlier about friends doing drugs and stuff. Those are the friends that are bringing you down. But for the most part, some of your friends might just be keeping you where you are. They may not be helping you move forward or pushing you or inspiring you or holding you accountable. So if you feel like they aren't doing those things, if you feel like your friends aren't kind of trying to elevate you in some way, then I think the best thing to do is to kind of start distancing yourself and focus on people who are going to help bring you up. Because it's those people, the people that are going to help bring you up, that they're going to expect the same thing from you. You guys are going to work with each other. With your current friends, if they're not those kinds of people, they're not going to help bring you up. You're going to do all you can to raise them, and you're just going to stay there. And that's going to hold you back. It's going to stunt your own growth. So when I talk about dealing with losing best friends, it doesn't always necessarily mean your friends walked away from you, or you guys had a falling out, or there were rumors spread, or you got into a fight. It might just simply mean letting go of the people that are holding you where you are and moving on to people that'll elevate you. Let's see. King Saif says, Josh, talk more about puberty things in your videos. Yeah, definitely. I want to cover more stuff on puberty. That's definitely a topic I want to cover. Thomas Turner says, I would be concerned if my crush called me bro. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. It's a big concern. I think a lot of times crushes, girls or crushes that you have will use those terms, bro, dude, stuff like that to kind of disarm you. It's to kind of show you that, hey, I only see you as a friend. I'm using these words to kind of imply that, so you don't think there's anything more there. That was loud. Okay, so Unknown says, Josh, how long do you have to be friends with a crush to ask them out if you became friends with them? Okay, that's a good question, Unknown. How long do you have to be friends with a crush before asking them out? I really think it comes down to this, that you don't want to head on the path of just being friends, which means that you don't want to hide the fact that you like them or pretend like you don't like them or to be very platonic. You want it to be romantic every time you interact with them. You want, sorry, I thought I was going to sneeze. You want to flirt with them. You want to joke around with them. You want to tease them. You want to do these things right from the beginning to show them that essentially you're heading on that path of eventually asking them out. Now, how long do you have to be friends with them before you do that? Honestly, I really think it depends on how close you get with them. So, for example, let's say you're flirting with them and you're joking with them, you get their phone number and you're talking to them. You're talking to them for a week. After a week, you might then feel like, hey, she's flirting back with me. She's joking back with me. Like, let me ask her to hang out. That might be the reality in the situation for you. So it might be a week. It might be a month. It really all depends on how close you are with them. That's the key thing. Are you at the point where you feel like if you flirt with her, she flirts back? If you put your arm around her, she kind of snuggles into you. She smiles at you. She looks at you. She kind of shows signs of interest. And I know I've talked about looking and smiling is not a sign of interest, but she's genuinely showing attraction to you. She's showing that she wants to spend time with you. If she's doing that, ask her out, man. Nothing should hold you back. Okay. So Fatima says, so there are these black spots on my face and I want to get them removed, but the scar is permanent. I don't know what my friends will think or if I will lose them. Should I care what they are? So when you say black spots, I think you might be blackhead from me, right? That might be the need to wash your face or to kind of, there are different things like different strips you can use on your face to kind of pull out blackheads. You may want to look more into that. Look definitely into kind of, acne treatment and stuff like that. But I mean, when you say black spots, I'm curious, do you mean like moles? Do you mean different things like that? There could be a lot of different reasons, but if you mean like black spots maybe on your nose and stuff, those might be blackheads. Let's see. Stay Fashy says, all I feel is hate anymore. How do I feel love again? So Stay Fashy, I'm noticing a common theme every single time you're in the chat. And like you just said in the question there, I feel like there's a level of negativity that you may be living with because every question you ask, everything you talk about seems very like dark and negative and like you said, edgy in a sense. Now it might just be your surrounding, it might be your environment. Maybe you're not in an environment and you feel loved, you feel cared about, man. And I get it, like we don't always choose our environment. Sometimes we're just in them. But if you are dealing with something that's making you feel like you can't love again, or you feel like it's impossible for you to develop deeper connections with someone, I would personally recommend seeing a therapist, man. I think it would be super helpful for you to talk to someone about what you're going through, to help them, to have them help you set up a game plan as to what you should do to kind of bring yourself back on track and move forward. Because no one deserves to live in a state of misery, man. Like you deserve so much more than that. But it really requires you taking the necessary steps to step out of it. Let's see. Gamerski says, Josh, do you have any hobbies or interests? I have a few hobbies or interests. I'm a huge WWE fan. I love watching wrestling. I love wrestling. I go to wrestling shows, independent wrestling shows, WWE shows sometimes. I love meditation and mindfulness trainings. I love kind of being in the moment and breathing and practicing meditation when I do things like sweep or mop or do the dishes or just walking. What else do I like? And I love making YouTube videos. That's really like my hobby and interest, man. I spend a lot of my time doing stuff on YouTube and really just trying to learn. I love learning and reading and watching stuff online that can train me and to just be better at stuff I do. Now I do want to say this, guys. So Reese says, Josh, say hello. Hello, Reese. Doing the dishes. Thomas Turner asked, doing the dishes. Yep. So let me explain, Thomas. What I mean by that is this, that you can practice mindfulness anywhere, right? Mindfulness doesn't have to be sitting on a pillow going, Mindfulness is simply being in the moment, recognizing what's happening, recognizing where you are, and really just feeling everything that's happening around you. So when I practice mindfulness while doing the dishes, I try to just really be in that moment. I try to really feel the warm water hitting the dishes on my hands. I try to take in the different smells and the textures and everything that I'm touching and feeling and smelling. And I really just try to be there. I don't allow a lot of distractions, listening to music, watching videos, things like that. I really try to just be in that moment because it allows me to kind of really process what's happening then and there. It allows me to kind of bring myself back to a sense of peace. I can focus on my breathing. I can slow down my breathing. I can kind of regulate my body that way. And I think it's a wonderful way. Like we look in mindfulness like, oh, I don't have time to practice. I don't have time to meditate. I don't have time to do that. But you can meditate where you are right now, taking 2 minutes to just sit there peacefully, close your eyes and just breathe. That's allowing you to go into a more meditative state. You could do it while washing the dishes. You could do it while sweeping. You could do it while organizing things. Anytime you're doing a task that is just something you have to do, those are the best times to meditate in my mind. Reese says, oh my God, I'm going to cry. He actually said hello. Of course, Reese. If it were up to me, I'd answer every single message and every single comment here, but they just kind of scroll so fast that I missed a bunch of them. So Rohan says, hey man, you helped me get through this year at school. Thank you. Thank you so much, Rohan. I really appreciate it. I do want to say this, guys. So at the end of every live stream, I do what I call an Instagram after party. Now you might be thinking, what's the Instagram after party, Josh? Well, the Instagram after party is, let me pull up. So the Instagram after party is this. I do a live stream over on Instagram and I invite you guys on and we have a chat. We talk about whatever's on your mind. I kind of share with you guys just basically what's going on and talk to you about your lives. We fill each other in. And that's kind of what we do. So that's the Instagram after party. If you want to join the Instagram after party where all the cool kids are, it's the cool thing to do. You can follow me over on Instagram. My Instagram username is the Josh Speaks. Go follow me over there, guys. And if you jump on, I could bring you on to video chat with me, which would be cool. We'll have a one-on-one video chat, there in the group chat. Another thing too is Anthony mentioned this, that I also have a Discord. I don't know how many of you guys use Discord. If you use Discord, put a thumbs up right now in the chat or a smiley face. Put a smiley face in the chat if you're a Discord user, because I'd love to have you on the Discord. I'm about to make it public. I'm going to do it probably after this live stream, but yeah, I'd love to have you guys in the Discord because we're doing text chats. We talk about gaming. We talk about dating. We talk about general stuff. And I do want to do, Anthony had mentioned, I think, doing a once a week voice chat, which I think would be really cool to do a quick voice chat with you guys. So if you want to join the Discord, let me know. Like I said, follow me on Instagram and ask me. Send me a DM. My DMs are open, so send me a DM saying what's the Discord, and I'll send you the link. You could join, but I am going to make it public so everyone can join. I just wanted to share that now, guys, so you guys know. So let's see. Yeah. So another story I wanted to tell you guys about a friend of mine. So we had talked about negative friends earlier. Someone had asked, how do you let them go? Now, I had a friend that I knew from high school, right? I had a friend that I knew from high school, and we were really, really good friends. We hung out all the time. He was one of my friends that, like I said, that I would talk to every single day. We'd hang out every single day. It was just an awesome experience that just the fact that we could kind of spend time with each other. What if we don't have Instagram? Can we still join the Discord? Sure. So I'm going to post the Discord link here, guys. Discord. Sorry, I'm just posting this link. There we go, guys. That should work, right? I think you got to add the HTTPS first. Anyway, that's the Discord link. Join the Discord now, join it after, just, whenever you want to. But yeah, so I had a friend. We were really, really close friends in high school. We really enjoyed each other's company. We would spend a lot of time together, hung out every single day. And then something happened. When we went off to college, me and my brother went off to college, this friend kind of started to change. I started to notice that they started to hang out with different groups of people, right? So while I stayed in college and focused on college and my college friends, this person started hanging out with people who would do drugs, who would drink, who would smoke. And I'm talking about the kind of people who did like the worst of the worst type of drugs. Like he just fell into that environment. And, every single time I'd come back from college, like, and I interacted with him, I started to feel like he was changing as a person. Like talking to him seemed different. The way he reacted to things, he started to become paranoid. Like he would tell me things like that his neighbors were like tracking his internet and like spying on him. Or he would tell me that like every single time he'd go to like Facebook, someone would bang on his wall because they knew he was going to Facebook. Like crazy things that it's like, dude, are you sure this is real? Another story he told us once that was that somehow there was I don't know if you guys remember when Facebook used to have games on it. Maybe they still do. I think I don't use any Facebook games, but he said that me and a bunch of my friends appeared as characters in the game on Facebook, and we were reading his thoughts, meaning he saw us appear in the game, and whenever he would think something, the character on the game would respond to him in real life. So we asked him, we're like, can you take a screenshot of this or record a video? He's like, no, every time I do it, every time I try to take a picture of it, they disappear. And I'm like, dude, are you being for real with me? Are you joking? What's going on? Now, I didn't want to let go of my best friend because I held that hope thinking that, okay, maybe this is something he's going to move past. Maybe he's going to grow up. Maybe he's going to let go of this thing. But that wasn't really the case. As the years went on, he just got worse and worse and started to say crazier and crazier things. Yeah. So Thomas, you're saying, are you sure that wasn't a dream? I asked him so many times, dude, were you dreaming? Did you get drunk and think this? Did you smoke weed and think, like, what happened that made you to think this? And he told me, no, dude, I was totally sober. This is really what happened. There were times that he would call me on the phone in the middle of the night, and he would just be making noises. He'd be like, and I'm like, dude, are you okay right now? Do I need to call an ambulance, the police? Are you okay? And he's like, oh, no, man, I'm fine. And I'm like, dude, are you okay? Are you on drugs right now? What's going on? And he just would tell me he was fine. And it's like, as the years went on, he just got worse and worse and worse. And it's like, all of my friends decided, like, cut this guy off. He's no good. He's just bad. He's just bad karma to keep around. And I didn't want to lose my best friend. I kept holding out, kept thinking, oh man, is there any way that I can help my friend? And it's like, it took me a while. I tried so hard to talk to him, to be there for him, to play therapist, like, and it's like, to be trusting. He just got worse and worse to the point where I realized, like, I can't be friends with this person anymore. It's like, it's not even a matter of me, like, not trying to help him. It's now a matter of, like, I'm afraid that, like, if he goes crazy and does something, like, I don't want to be tied to that. So that was the challenge I ran into with letting go of one of my best friends. I had to recognize that it's like I couldn't be friends with him anymore. He needed to see a therapist or a counselor, and he needed to take care of that because I was afraid that, it was going to interfere with something in my life. But let's see. Anthony says, it was all a dream. I used to read words on magazines. Gamerski says, I want that weed. I don't know what he was taking, man. I feel bad for him. I think I always will. I always feel my heart breaks for the fact that like something happened to him and changed his mental state, but that's where he is. So Michael Pro says, how can I join the Instagram after party? So Michael, I'm assuming maybe you don't have Instagram. I can't do Instagram after party because my mom says she would turn off the Wi-Fi and I don't know how to get on the after party. So Michael, don't worry about that. If you can't get on the Instagram after party, you can follow me over on Discord as well, because we have a chat going on there. And plus I put the replays up for the Instagram after party so you can still be part of the experience there and do that. Let's see. Thomas Turner says, Josh, how many girls have you liked at once? Oh boy, I don't even know. Thomas, like, I don't know, maybe like 10, 15. Like, here's the thing. When I was in high school, it's like I liked like every girl, right? It was like at least one girl in every class that I was like, okay, that's the girl I like in this class. So I liked tons of girls. Like seriously liked, I want to say maybe like 3 or 4 at a time, like in high school or in college or whatever it may be. But for the most part, I always had like my main crush and then all the other side crushes around it. So Vic Sukhu says, how do you rebuild a friendship with your crush? We were close friends, but I came on too strong with her. I apologize, but I don't know what to do from here. That's a good question, Vic. So I'm assuming when you say you came on too strong, it was probably in the sense where you asked her out or you told her she was beautiful and you liked her and you kind of like put on too much where she told you, hey, leave me alone. I just want to be friends. Now, if that's the case where she kind of just like told you to back off and leave her alone, the best thing is to follow that advice. It isn't really a matter of like, oh, how long should I leave her alone? It really is a matter of you're leaving her alone for the specific purpose of you growing out of that state of mind that you were in before. And you want her to grow too. So you want to get out of that mindset of whatever you were doing wrong. That might mean liking other girls, talking to other girls, developing new friend groups, spending time developing who you are, just focusing on things other than the girl. Because as time goes on, maybe eventually when you do talk to her again, you're in a different state of your life and she is too, and then you can make things work. But it isn't like a snap your fingers and like, oh, she told me not to talk to her. Okay, do I wait a month and then I talk to her? It isn't like that, man. She needs to really feel like you are a different person. You've grown since the last time. Throw your hands in the air if you're a true player. Okay, let's see what you guys are saying. CJ says, what's the difference between love and like? So CJ, I did a video on this called how do you know or knowing whether or not you're in love or in lust. I think that's a really good video to check out. But when it comes to love, I think love is an emotion that's really deeply reserved for genuinely caring about a person to the point where you accept them for all that they are, the good and the bad. And I think that if someone, let's say, is your crush, you can't truly love them until you really have gotten to know them deeply, right? When you like someone, it might just be a matter of, oh my God, they're attractive. Oh my God, they're funny. Oh my God, they're like really hot. Whatever it is, that's the state of like. But loving them is really getting to know the deep and depth of the deepness. Sorry, getting to know the deepness and the depth of their personality, of who they are. Learning what their happiest moments are, their sad moments, really learning all about them. That's true love. My mind. Let's see. Anthony says, the whole summer I've been working on my confidence and it's worked really well. That's awesome, Anthony. I'm super happy for you. Let's see. Fatima says, my crush looks at me during class and my friend caught him and made me tell him how he feels. And he did, but now it's weird between us and I kind of regret telling him I like him, but I do like him. So it sounds to me like he knows that you like him. It's out in the open. What do you do now? Well, I made a video about this called My Crush Knows I Like Him. What do I do now? My face is like in the thumbnail. I think the best thing for you to do is to approach them and talk to them. A big reason for that is because, ultimately you want to see where things can go. You want to see things progress between you two. And the only way that's going to happen now is if you take that first step. I don't think it's a guy thing. I don't think it's a girl thing. I think it's if you like someone, you should take that step. You should take that initiative. You shouldn't wait around hoping that they come to you because they're your feelings. You have to act on them, not the other person. How do I feel about Brock Lesnar? turning on Paul Heyman, I think it's sad. I think it's so incredibly sad. I think Paul doesn't deserve that. He's been by Brock's side for forever, and I hope Brock apologizes. I think that's what he needs to do. He needs to do the right thing. Mm. So Key Lee says an interesting thing here. Why do strangers approach your groups of friends at gatherings, talk to them, but not you? When I want to talk, their expression changes. So it's an interesting question, Key Lee. It's possible that when people approach a group, that there is one specific person in mind that they want to talk to, and that if other people talk to them, they don't know what to do, they don't know how to handle the situations. But I think ultimately, if you notice that the people who enter your group don't really want to talk to you, really try to think about how it is you're approaching those conversations. What are you saying to them that's turning them off? What are you saying that's pushing them away? Is it a matter of like you see that they intentionally only want to talk to one person? Maybe you have a crush on someone in the group and they only want to talk to them, and you see that. What is the general case that you kind of notice? Let's see. Unknown says, Josh, how do you ask out someone one grade higher than yours, or like how do you start talking to them? Yep, Unknown. So I made a video on this called how to ask out someone older than you, and I think a big way to kind of handle that to handle that age difference is this. First, ask yourself, are we in the same category of grade? Meaning, are we both in high school, right? So you can be a freshman in high school, they could be a senior in high school, but you're both in high school, meaning you have a similar experience to an extent. You're both in the same school, you both kind of interact with the same environment and stuff like that. It isn't like you're a middle school and they're a college student, right? If you have that difference, but you're saying, Unknown, that there's 1 year's difference between you and that person. I don't think 1 year's difference will make all the difference in the world. Now, you might say, well, they're a year older than me. I don't have any classes with them. I don't share lunch with them, nothing. How do I interact with them? I think the best thing to do is if you see them in person in the hallways, that's probably where you're going to see them. That's where you should approach them and talk to them. You can always walk up to them, follow the 3-second rule, give yourself no more than 3 seconds to walk up to a person and say hi. That's the 3-second rule, guys. I've used it before. I know tons of guys who have used it, tons of people have used it, and it's helped them get over that hump of being afraid to talk to the person that they like. So use the 3-second rule and just approach her. Or if you see her after school, that's another good way. Or if you have no choice, you don't see her in school, the best thing is to talk to her online, follow her on Instagram, comment on her post, be interactive there so that she can get used to seeing your face there, and then shoot her a DM. That's how I would suggest doing it. Thomas Turner says, how about the 3-month rule? I think if you're waiting 3 months to walk up to someone and say hi, I think by that time they will have already moved on. Just a hunch of mine. Just a hunch. Okay, let's see what else you guys say. So I just want to also quickly say this. So like I mentioned before, my college friends, right? How do I make things work with my college friends? So the interesting relationship I have there is that because we're all so busy and some of us are so spread out, we decide to meet up once every, let's say, 2 months or 3 months or something like that. And we all get together. And the interesting thing is that it's like these were people that I knew back in 2009. That's when I graduated. So the early 2005 to 2009, people that I developed friendships with. Now that was almost 10 years ago. But yet by doing this system, by having this system where we meet up every few months, it always feels just like it did. When we get together, we immediately jump back into the same playfulness, the same fun environment that we had back then. So we never really lost that connection with each other. And I think that's an important thing too. If you have a friend that is going to another school, or you're going to a college, you're going to a different college, you guys are separating, try to make plans to meet up every so often, whether it's once a month, once every 2 months, once every 3 months, whatever it is. That way you guys can maintain that level of friendship. You can still keep each other informed in each other's lives. Another piece too is that, look, the internet is there. You can easily message someone, find out what's going on in their life, see things that they post, interact with them there. You don't ever have to lose sight of anyone or anyone that you have. But that's what I would suggest as a way to kind of maintain friendships with people that you don't want to lose, right? Because these are best friends of mine that I didn't lose. Now in high school, I just those people ended up disappearing, and middle school especially, and even my closest friend. But I love you guys. Warning. But I'm curious. So I want to hear you guys jump in the chat right now. I want to hear what you guys have to say. What's your situation with your friends? Do you have a lot of friends? Do you have a close group of friends? Do you have no friends? Are you going to a new school? Are you going to a new grade where you don't know anyone? I want to hear your guys' situation. I'm going to try to rapid fire answer and share my thoughts on as many things as I can before this the stream ends and before I jump over on Instagram. But I do want to hear what you guys have to say. So Robert says, and what if one of these girls have a boyfriend already? How do I handle that? That's an interesting question, Robert. If you like someone that already has a boyfriend, my advice is do not ask them out. You can maintain friendship. You can maintain a friendship with them, but don't be best friends. Don't be buddy. Because when you're buddy, that girl's going to start to see you as, oh, but he's just a friend. He can never potentially be anything more. So don't get too close to a girl with a boyfriend. Anthony says, I have a lot of friends. Arby says, I have no friends. Robert says, I have lots of friends. Corey, I have a few friends. So, okay. Unknown says, I have a small group of friends and I want to know, I want to have more, but I'm nervous making new friends. I have a disclosed amount, quality over quantity. Yeah, dude, I totally get you. I mean, I'd say my core, like when I get down to the real core of it, my close group of friends, there's maybe about 4 or 5 of us that I would say are like my legit family level of friends, right? Like some of us have one friend, some of us have 2 friends, some of us have a bunch of friends, but like really think about the people that are your true core friends. How many of those do you guys have? Ben Taylor says, should you account religion into your relationships? I think religion is going to play a major part, especially if you're dating someone. Like religion is going to play in because, the family unit plays into that. Celebrations, holidays, birthdays, all those different things play into the religious environment. So talking about religion will definitely help you guys see where the other one stands. Let's see what you guys are saying here. Let's see. Rohan says, what should I do to prevent stressing for my exams this upcoming year? I normally am a victim to stressing and it is bad till I can't sleep or even think about anything besides failing tests. Yeah, Rohan, I totally get where you're coming from. A lot of us stress out over tests. Here's my honest advice on that. I think you need to take time daily to meditate. A lot of times we jump and we'll dedicate an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, 5 hours, 10 hours to studying, but we never dedicate time to just simply being in the moment and breathing. That's something we overlook. We'll go from like studying to distraction, like studying to playing on my phone, studying to watching TV. But instead, in between your studying sessions, really try to focus on your breath. Close your eyes. Take deep breaths. Do a 10-minute mindfulness meditation. If you guys are interested, there's an app called Calm, which is my favorite app to use. It's a meditation app. I think it's the best app for that. Try Calm Out. Calm Out will definitely help you. CALM, Calm. All right, let's see. I clicked so fast when I saw the title, Overlord Kingsley. Yeah, Overlord, if you want, check out the replay where I talked all about my different experiences with friends. I answered a lot of questions that you guys had, which was fun. What does meditating even help with? So I see meditating as helping you. Here's the thing. When you practice meditation, it's like exercising, right? It's like saying, what does strength help you out with? Well, when you start at the gym, it doesn't feel like anything. You're just starting. But you start to realize over time, when you encounter situations, like if I want to lift something that's heavy, right? Working out in the gym is going to help me later on down the line. And meditation is the same thing where if you learn how to practice and be in the moment and breathe in those situations, when you encounter stressful situations or situations that make you anxious or nervous or depressed or angry, you can then turn back to your meditation, turn back to your mindfulness, turn back to your breathing, and it helps you kind of handle those situations better. So the same way that I'm building strong biceps and that's going to help me be able to lift things, meditation helps you deal with those anxious and nervous situations you run into. All right, guys. So on that note, like I said, if you want, this is going to get continued over into Instagram, guys. We are going to have our Instagram after party. So if you aren't already, go follow me over on Instagram right now. I'm going to jump live over on there. I hope this was helpful for you guys. Thank you again for being a part of this. And I'd love to see you guys over on Instagram and Discord. Discord is also another thing I'll be using. So if you want the Discord link, DM me on Instagram. I'll share it with you guys. I am going to make it public, but if you want to get in there super early, do that. And like I said, I see one more thing I have to address this. So Robert said, so my dad died, so sometimes it's really hard for me to sleep. So Robert, I totally get where you're coming from, man. Losing a family member, losing a loved one is incredibly difficult. I talked about that in a video I did earlier this week, but there's nothing I can say that can capture the feeling that you're experiencing, right? Nothing, no matter how many times me or anyone says, I'm sorry for your loss. So it's, it'll get better. No matter how many times anyone says that, what you feel is so real and so deep. So I want you to know that I appreciate you and I respect the fact that you're open and honest and you're able to share that here. I know it's hard to talk about it and it's hard to think about it, but um, like I do just want to say that it will get better, man, and it does take time, but you do have what it takes to be somebody great. Take your dad's legacy and carry it forward, man. Carry all the positive things he's taught you and inspired you to do, and help the world around you with that. On that note, guys, like I said, head over to Instagram. We're going to continue Instagram after party. I will catch you guys later, just a few minutes. All right, guys. As always, love and peace. See you guys.